RTS games have long held a special place in the hearts of PC gamers. Classics like Age of Empires, Rise of Nations, Age of Mythology, and Red Alert not only defined an era, but also set the standard for resource management, tactical thinking, and large-scale battles. These games showcase the complexity and depth of commanding entire armies, managing economies, and planning out the best strategies to outmaneuver and conquer opponents. Whether it was building a thriving ancient civilization or leading futuristic forces into battle, RTS games brought rich, immersive experiences to life and solidified their place in gaming history. On the other hand, tower defense games have become beloved for their fast-paced action and strategic challenge. Titles like Orcs Must Die, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, and Dungeon Defenders introduced players to the thrill of defending key positions against waves of enemies. These games blend strategy with intensity, as players must quickly build, upgrade, and place traps and defenses to stave off relentless foes. The genre appeals to both tactical minds and those seeking immediate action, offering a satisfying mix of creativity and combat, where every choice matters and one wrong move can lead to destruction. So, what do you get when you mix these two iconic game genres? That's exactly the question the team at Digital Sun set out to answer with Cataclismo, their latest ambitious project that blends the best elements of real-time strategy and tower defense into a thrilling and polished experience. At its heart, Cataclismo is parts real-time strategy and parts tower defense. But Digital Sun discovered the way to interweave these two segments in such a way that has put their third game in very high regards with critics and fans alike. By adding a palette and atmosphere that is reminiscent of darker, moodier games like Dark Souls, Diablo, and Blasphemous, they could marry gameplay to experience, making Cataclismo feel unique. Digital Sun took inspiration from many places, but perhaps the most significant muse in the process was LEGO. The creative freedom of the incredibly popular toy set a basis for the flow of the game, and what would ultimately grow from there. Digital Sun's CEO, Javier Jimenez, believed that the game should fulfill the childhood fantasy of building the perfect castle. One of the notable challenges for Digital Sun was working with a relatively small team throughout the development of Cataclismo. On average, the team consisted of around 10 people, with the number peaking at 15 during the busiest periods. While the team was experienced with Unity as their engine, shifting to 3D introduced new complexities that required careful attention. However, this shift also presented a unique opportunity for Digital Sun to refine the game's art direction, enabling them to craft a detailed world and bring their characters to life exactly as envisioned. One of their other big concerns was the gameplay loop of building and defending. They spent considerable time fine-tuning those aspects of the game. While the game celebrates creativity, there had to be enough substance within the loop to leave players of all skill levels feeling rewarded, and the extended development time allowed the team to achieve that goal. Drawing inspiration from their work on Moonlighter, Digital Sun launched a Kickstarter campaign for Cataclismo. They meticulously designed a visually appealing campaign page to showcase the game's stunning art style. Backer rewards included digital copies of the game, credits acknowledgements, both digital and physical art books, the game's soundtrack on vinyl, and a 15-centimeter statue of Lady Iris, among other items. The initial funding goal was set at €50,000, which they achieved in just over a week. By the campaign's end, they had raised an additional €18,500, including a significant contribution of $2,000 from one backer. One of the biggest challenges Digital Sun faced with Cataclismo was marketing the game effectively. After parting ways with Humble Games, they knew that getting the game in front of as many people as possible would be an uphill battle. The team worked tirelessly to spread the word, attending numerous video game conferences, conventions, and producing game trailers to build hype. For over a year, they operated without a publishing partner. That changed when they partnered with Hooded Horse just a few months before Cataclismo's release on Steam Early Access. Hooded Horse, known for their success in the strategy and simulation genres, was a natural fit for Cataclismo. With titles like Against the Storm, Manor Lords, and Old World in their portfolio, Hooded Horse provided the expertise and reach to help bring the game to a wider audience. One of the key reasons behind the lengthy development time was the team's dedication to creating a diverse range of gameplay experiences. There are 4 main game modes that players can experience. The Early Access campaign features 11 levels and explores the world across 2 biomes. And as development continues, they plan to introduce even more levels and biomes, expanding the world further. There is also a simpler skirmish mode which features 2 different levels and biomes. Survival is Cataclismo's endless mode and gives players new unlocks based on how long they're able to withstand the dreadful creatures that come to wipe their citadel off the map. And finally, the game has a creative mode, which allows players to take their time with their build, instead of worrying about what might be destroyed by the horrors of the world. The only limitation in this mode is the player's imagination, so they're expected to be able to make some truly breathtaking castles. Finally, there's also a level editor. Players can make a level and share it with the world, creating experiences that could completely change the way that the game is played. Digital Sun embraces their community, and while they have said that there are other games hidden in their catalog that they'll be working on, support will be ongoing as they walk the road to a full release. While the game itself was drastically different than the previous 2 Digital Sun games, the art team was led by the same director as Moonlighter and the Mage Seeker, David Aguado. The art direction is certainly different, but there are some techniques and stylization that carries through across the developer's previous releases, helping to bridge the gap between legacy and novelty. Inspired by the style of Studio Ghibli films and the dark moodiness of the Dark Souls fantasy setting, Cataclismo has a flair all its own. There is an almost gothic feel to things, and the graphics are bolstered by the atmosphere and mystery of the world. Of course, everything needed to be fine-tuned to allow players to develop their buildings with their own creative flair. Originally, the most effective buildings did not have the most appealing look. Vincent Ramirez, the creative director of the project, states that as development progressed, they had made enough changes so that the most beautiful buildings were also the most effective. Placing decorative elements, such as Merlins, will give additional effects, which can help turn the tide of battle beyond just looking good. Cataclismo's gameplay is articulated across several types of experiences. It's more than just the sum of its parts, but a careful balancing act of all the different components. Players are introduced to the game first by its real-time strategy elements, taking control of just a few characters to learn how to best pit them against enemies. The notion may be simple, but it is accentuated by clever positioning, as the height of the various troops determine their effectiveness in battle. While players will only control a few characters early on, they'll be barking orders at battalions of soldiers in their quest to last one more dark and misty night before long. But troop management is only one part of the real-time strategy puzzle. In order to last against the encroaching darkness, players need to depend on whatever resources are available. This is an integral part of building management, which will help you last until the sun next rises. Of course, no building is as important as your citadel, which is what the horrors from the mist are aiming to destroy. How you build fortifications is important in Cataclismo, and the concept continues to revolve around player choice. While there are certain buildings that are prefabricated, the defensive structures you build are unique and player-controlled. The player ultimately has freedom to choose how to prepare their citadel for the upcoming onslaught. Height is an important aspect of the game here as well, as the higher you build your walls, the stronger they are against the might of the enemy horde. You'll need to consider apertures and balconies for some of your troops, however, recalling that different heights might be more effective. That loops in the final component of the game, the tower defense mechanic. Every night, the horrors will come from different areas of the fog, giving you limited information about what is about to arrive at your doorstep. It's only by balancing what and where your fortifications are with the right troop presence that will see you repel the enemy in order to survive until one more gloomy day. Blending all these elements is sure to evoke comparisons to games like Frostpunk and Floodland with their strategic base building, combined with the real-time strategy resource management reminiscent of Warcraft 3 and Age of Empires. When a developer pours immense effort into ensuring their game is polished to perfection before launch, it's the best way to keep fans both happy and engaged. Digital Sun went above and beyond to transform what could have been an average release into something truly exceptional. They pushed the boundaries, refining every detail to elevate Cataclismo into a masterpiece. This level of consistency and quality has cemented Digital Sun's reputation, and it's clear that fans are already excited for whatever comes next from this talented studio. If you're curious about more of Digital Sun's work, you'll want to check out The Mage Seeker. This captivating game dives into the heart of rebellion, following Silas as he leads a revolution against the oppressive kingdom of Demacia. It combines pixel-perfect combat with a gripping storyline, offering both intense action and deep character development.